3ds Max is a versatile program for rigging and animation. We have 3 separate systems for animation available. The simplest are standard bones, available under the Systems button in the Create tab on the command panel. To make bones, I'll click and drag in the view. Every bone is connected to a parent by default. Right-clicking ends the chain, and this is a simple FK, or forward kinematic bone chain. As I pull it around, it only takes the parents, as I pull the nub around, it rotates its parent. I can add an IK system on this if needed. I'll often use standard bones for secondary bones in a rig, such as facial bones. We also have bipeds available, and the Character Studio system with biped, as the name suggests, is geared towards bipedal characters. This one I've elongated the neck by adding in more neck links. We have a fairly flexible system here, but it is geared for bipeds. This is where Cat really shines. I'll click on Cat Parent, and then I'll scroll down to the Cat Rig Load and Save section. In this case, I'll try out a horse, and I'll click and drag in the parent, and there's a horse rig. There's 2 modes for Cat. I'll go to the Motion tab, and under the Assign Controller rollout is the Layer Manager. Right now we're in Structure mode, where if I take a bone and I pull it, I can stretch it out. This allows me to customize the rig to my character, resizing limbs as needed. To animate the cat, I want to pick the parent or any of the bones and create an animation layer. I'll scroll up and create a new animation layer. Now I'm ready to turn on the Setup Animation Mode toggle, and I can animate it. If I pick a bone, it's no longer stretchy. Actually, this limb is fairly locked. Why, you may ask, is this limb locked? Because I want to pick up the foot controller and pull that horse's leg up. Automatically, I have an IK limb here. I pick the foot up, the limb follows, and I can make the horse walk. When I grab a larger object, such as the rib cage, and pull it up, I can make the horse rear up on its hind legs very easily, and the legs follow correctly. Keying a cat object, then, is very easy. You can use Auto Key, you can use Set Key. It's really up to you. I'll scroll over a couple of frames and bring this horse way up on its hind legs. It's rearing up in surprise. I'll rotate that chest out, and I'll bring those legs up. It's creating keys on each of the objects for me, just as you would with any other object. And a side note on animation: when you're blocking out a pose, look at the pose before you look at the motion between. What I'll do a lot of times is to select the keys, or even work on the default tangents, and make them stepped. I'll fly out the button here for tangent types and choose Step Tangents, or holds. That way, each of these keys will hold its position, and I can look at the pose at the right time in the animation. Then when I'm ready, I can come back and change those tangents over to slow in, slow out, fast, whatever it is, to get the animation right. There's my horse rearing up, and I forgot to put this leg down apparently. That's okay, it's fixable. The Eco Rig that comes with this 3ds Max project then has been rigged with the cat objects. He's also had some additional controllers added, such as the pelvis and other controllers here. I'll do the same thing to animate him. I'll pick the cat rig, and I've already added on an animation layer here. I'll enter the Setup Animation mode, turn on either Auto Key or Set Key, and animate him. In this case, I'm going to make him lean forward as if he's looking at something in the distance. I'll pick the pelvis node, rotate it forward slightly. I'm going to pick his head and pull it back. He's looking off into the distance very excitedly. I'll also grab the arms and pull them forward a bit. He's leaning forward and pointing at something out there. Let's not break his arm too badly. I'll rotate that controller over. One of the things you can see here when you're animating, it's very easy to break a rig. In this case, I've got to make sure I really straighten that arm out. And now he's keyed. In anticipation, he's looking forward at something. I turn off Auto Key and scrub that animation. He starts straight and he leans into it. Now these keys are stepping. We can see that the pose snaps from one to the other. That's how you want to block out the animation from your camera view. So the characters animate to the camera